This is the H7 Tech Corner podcast guide. So make sure to watch this video before you attend the H7 Tech Corner podcast. But let me give you an overview of what this is. So H7 Tech Corner podcast is a live podcast that is recorded on a weekly basis within H7's Tech Corner meeting. Any H7 member is allowed to attend, and this is how it's going to go. I am your host. I'm Alex Hitt. I am a podcaster. I am a content creator. I am a social media coach and strategist. And I'm going to be hosting the podcast every week. The podcast is going to be about 20 minutes total. The entire length of this podcast will be about 20 minutes total. And this is the format of it. So for the first minute, we'll have an overview. I'll introduce the podcast, make my introduction, and then we'll go around and we'll let everybody do their introduction. And that is a very, very, very short introduction. It's your name, it's your business name, and it's your website. That's it. Very quick. It's about 1 minute. It should be 1 minute total at the most. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the topic. The topic can be something like LinkedIn. It can be networking. It can be AI. It can be how to grow your business. It can be how to market. We'll have a different topic every single week, and we'll let you know about that topic ahead of time so you can prepare something to say. So that brings us into the bulk of the podcast, which is, I call it the value section. And in that section, it's 10 minutes long, and everybody is allowed to have a 55 to 65 second, you could say, presentation or speech. And the point of that is to give the audience some form of value. Show that you are an expert business owner, that you know your stuff, and that's your opportunity to shine. So you get 55 to 65 seconds to share some piece of valuable information for the audience, right? Then after that, we'll have about 5 minutes of questions. Maybe somebody said something in there and you want a follow-up question. I'll give you an example of that here in a little bit. But we'll have about 5 minutes of questions, and then I'll do a 1 minute outro, and that will be about the whole 20 minutes. So let me break this down step by step. So the overview, like I said, is me, and the overview is going to go something like this. Welcome to the Tech Corner podcast. I'm your host, Alex Hitt. The Tech Corner podcast is a weekly podcast that brings together an eclectic group of online entrepreneurs and business owners to discuss tech-related topics. Today, we have on an amazing group of entrepreneurs and business owners here to discuss this week's topic of, next week's topic is going to be LinkedIn. So this week's topic, LinkedIn. This is an open forum for discussion and the free exchange of information. Everyone here represents solely themselves. I do not endorse any products or opinions of any guest unless otherwise stated. Let's get to the introductions. And then I'd say, Evan, would you please begin? And then Evan would say, Evan,
I'm Evan. My business name is Pro Attitudes, and my website is proattitudes.com, where we help people.
Nope,
none of that. Okay.
None of that.
And it's a minute for everybody. Sorry.
It's 1 minute for everybody. So it's just your name, your business name, and your website. That's it. Because if you get into the pitches, that's just going to take it too long. So that's just so the audience familiarizes the voice that's being said with the person who's talking. So when we get to the value section, you'll say your name again. You'll say Evan when you start. You'll say Evan. You'll kind of repeat it, and then you'll jump into what you want to say. Okay. The topic of today is LinkedIn. Once thought of as a software to find jobs, LinkedIn is now the go-to platform for entrepreneurs, business owners, and online business networkers. LinkedIn has many features, and today I wanted to discuss everyone's favorite LinkedIn features, their go-to strategies, and their best recommendations for using LinkedIn to its maximum potential. Evan, would you please start us off with what you have prepared for us today? And he'd say, yeah, Evan, and here's what I got. Boom, 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 for between 55 seconds and 65 seconds. So I say a minute, but there's a little bit of leeway. I'm not going to cut you off. Try to get it within that. Okay. Then we'll go to the value section, and that piece of value, it could be relevant stories, data and statistics. If you have some data that you can bring to the table, that's always very helpful. Or a news article, shocking or powerful information, or even like a trend report. So just different types of value that you can bring to the table. There are no pitches. Do not pitch your business. We will not allow that. This is not the forum for it. That's not a good podcast. If I come up here and I say, guys, guess what? I'm a social media coach, and this is everything I do for people. I meet with them once a week. That's just boring. You know what I mean? That doesn't do anything for anybody. So it's all about providing maximum value as a business owner. Next section is the questions. So I can ask a question, or people in the audience can ask a question, and the person will have 1 or 2 minutes to respond to the question. So there might be one question, there might be two, maybe three at the most. All right. So we did the questions, outro, and then I'll just give my final thoughts and then direct people to subscribe and to, if they want to attend the Tech Corner, and how do they do that, right? All right. So that's the kind of the process there. The requirements as a guest, there are requirements, guys. Brevity, okay? Economy of words, focused, okay? You have to have a good enough audio and video quality. It is a video podcast. Your audio needs to be good enough. It doesn't have to be the best. I do use something called Adobe Podcast, which actually transforms the audio. So even if you don't have great audio, this will make it sound like you have great audio. Like I said, no pitches, no products mentioned. And if you attend, you must share. You must share this podcast on LinkedIn. When I post it, it's required that you click the share button on that post. That's it. Okay, so coming prepared, okay? Very important that you come prepared. All attendees of the Tech Corner podcast will participate twice and possibly a third time in the question section. So the parts where the guests participate are stage 2, intro, first and last name, business name, website. That's it, okay? Come prepared with a 55 to 65 second speech about the topic that we've laid out, okay? And I would suggest you write it. It's just 60 seconds, pretty short. And then you might have another opportunity to participate in the question section, and that's like open discussion. So you might ask a question, or you might be answering a question, so just be prepared for that, okay? Any questions on that?
Can we share content?
Can you share content? What do you mean by that?
It's a podcast. Okay, so I'm always thinking because I see podcasts on YouTube. This is just sound. Got it.
It will be a video podcast, but do not come with visual resources because people should be able to understand it and get everything from it in an audio only format. But it will be posted in a video format as well with subtitles on it. Okay, so examples of the stuff you have prepared: Alex Hitt, OBN events. Website is obn.events. And then my value that I bring, my favorite feature to use on LinkedIn is its scheduling feature, which allows you to schedule posts out for the future. I like this feature because I always forget to post content and I don't have time to do it every day. So the scheduling feature allows me to post content consistently without having to actually come up with content every day. I also like the feature blah, 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 right? And it takes me to 55 to 65 seconds. So that would be an example of a piece of value that you're bringing. You're giving a tip, a trick, a hack, a secret, a story, an anecdote, something like that. And then maybe one of the questions I ask or somebody asks me, do you find posting at different times has an effect on how well that post performs? Oh no, or oh yes, I posted in the morning and here's what I found, right? What do you get out of it as being a guest? Well, you get to be on the podcast forever. This is evergreen content. This is going to be promoted in H7. You're going to have the video. I'm going to edit the video. If you've ever seen one of my podcasts, I edit out all the ums, all the pauses, all the things that don't make you look good. I edit those out. I improve the audio. I add subtitles. It's an amazing, great video. And then the third thing is you have permission to edit your portion of that video out and to use that on social media. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. But this is like seriously an amazing value. You get a piece of highly edited content that has subtitles that's already optimized for short form video platforms. And it's in a minute too. So you can use it on all those short form video platforms. A little bit of strategy here, guys. Okay. Now I'm going to use it too. I'm going to be promoting it out. I'm going to be promoting you. And I have a lot of reach, guys. So you'll definitely get promoted and put out there more by being on this podcast. Any questions? You guys think that's pretty good value? You guys think that's reason enough to show up for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Alex,
thank you.
Reinventing a Tech Corner. I love this. This is the kind of stuff, instead of getting old and stale, you're like thinking about new ways to bring value to us and to yourself, which is great.
Well, you know, I do a lot of online business networking, a lot. And I've always been kind of, and I'm sure you all go through this, it's frustrating sometimes. You meet all these people and everybody wants to collaborate, and they really do. They really want to collaborate, but it's really hard to collaborate with most business owners, not because they're not friendly, but it's just how do you do it? We're all salespeople here. We're all trying to sell a product. Refer people, sure, it happens, but I always thought, wow, there was such a, like, these online relationships are so powerful, but if we could actually use them together on social media, then we have real leverage. Then we can get outside of this small networking circle and get out to a much larger audience by utilizing all of these online relationships that we have. So this is like one of the many strategies. I call them community strategies for social media growth. I have probably, a dozen other ones, but this is one. And I'm telling you guys, this is going to be super effective. It's going to be a great thing. Not only is H7 going to promote it out to all of their people, but I'm promoting it out and everybody who's on the podcast is promoting it out. So it could be a big thing. It could be a big podcast, and I'm excited for it. And it also give everybody here an opportunity to get that short form video content that y'all want, but you never find the time to create. So go ahead, Mark.
Just a quick question about the short form video content that you could distribute to individual podcasts, the attendees who are part of that podcast. How does that work?
So I'm going to do a tutorial next week when we record it. I'll send everybody the ability to get the file, and then you'll have to edit your part out yourself. It's really simple. You just put it.
I use my own editing software to do that already, but you have a better way.
I might have a better way. Your way might be fine. But essentially all you would have to do is take that video, that podcast, download it, find your part in that clip the beginning, clip the end, there's your clip. And then after the podcast, we'll say, hey, if you want to download your clip, here's the follow-up video. It's going to take me about a day to get the video uploaded, or 2 days, and then you'll be able to download the entire podcast yourself, and then I'll show you how to clip the video. because your portion will already be optimized and ready for short form video. So it'll be you talking with tracking captions, all the pauses, all the ums, anything that's irrelevant cut out. And these clips do really well. I mean, I've had podcast clips and stuff like this get thousands and thousands of views.
So it's up to us to decide how many short form videos out of that we can extract. We can make it into a long short form, or we can make it into several short forms, right?
Well, short form is usually described as something under a minute. TikTok allows up to 10 minutes, but most short form video is under a minute. YouTube Shorts has to be under a minute. So when you have 55 to 65 seconds to talk, I'm going to cut out so much dead air that it's going to probably push everybody under a minute. And so you'll be able to use that video on YouTube Shorts, on Instagram Reels, on Facebook Stories, on TikTok. And like I said, it's already in. You won't have to edit it. All you have to do is clip it, meaning take out when you're not talking and take out when you're done talking. That's it. Then you can upload it to social media. Cool, guys. Well, awesome. Tell people in H7 about this. Mark was saying, yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, and it'll get out there, and if you're one of the first people on, then you'll be at the top of the list. So cool. Thanks. Share it out. Thanks for coming in.